I did my high school in Mali back home, and I graduated in 2002. After my graduation, I was seeking for higher education, and one of the best places in the world to have a good education is the United States. So when I first came, I could pretty much speak in English. So I had to learn English, and I went to the Spanish American Center at 42nd Street, and I learned English in 3 months. I was able to to take the TOEFL test and get enough score to get into training. So I chose BMCC because before starting school when I was when I was learning English, I pretty much went to all Queenie school. So I talked to people, and once I got to BMCC, honestly, that's like the right place for me. People were nice, and the school was great, and I thought I could start my journey here.
Well, I wish I could say that I had a great impact on him. I think that Nohoum is a very special person. So I think that I have watched him grow, and I'm happy to say that I witnessed that. He was in my 094 class. He had just come to the States. He didn't know much English, I have to say. I was a little bit surprised at the end when he made such a high grade on the test, but it wasn't quite high enough for him to do the tutoring, but I knew that he was borderline, and he said, please let me do the tutoring, let me have a chance to take the test. And I did believe in him, and I believed that he could do it. I mean, I knew that he worked hard. He's a hard worker.
One of the main thing I learned in that class is I was not weak or inferior to other student, because as the class is spelled out is ESL, English as a second language, so which means that I already speak something else. So she tried to make us comfortable, in thinking we're not weak or anything. We even better because beside English we learn we speak another language. So that was one of the best strategy of making us comfortable in school. And then going through books, movies in class, and personal life and writing. She pretty much taught us how to write sentence, how to construct a paragraph, and the attention she was paying to each student. I think that was one of the main resource I had. It was out of many. She always know you. She call your name. If you need her anytime, you can go to office hour. You could that was the main thing.
He took the 20-hour tutoring intervention and took the 095, the ACT exam, and actually passed the test. So he was able, as a result of that, to finish at BMCC, starting with remedial, finish at BMCC in 3 semesters.
After finishing with my English classes, I started taking classes at Hunter. So technically, by the time I transferred to Hunter, I had almost about a semester of credit. So, and then, since I took economics classes and more advanced math classes, by the time I transferred to Hunter, they let me take grad courses while I was enrolled as an undergrad. So I did a BMA at Hunter College in economics, where I really found very good professors, good tutors, like Professor Jonathan Koenig. And then I finished at Hunter after 3 semesters. So I got my BA and my MA in economics. Then after Hunter College, I applied to Innovation for Poverty Action, because I was thinking that I want to do a PhD in economics, or work in academia or research, and I was accepted as a project coordinator at IPA, and I went to Africa, based in Mali. I was doing project evaluations, working on microfinance, agricultural lending, and land irrigations. So that's what I've been doing for the last 2.5 years before coming to Harvard.
And when he did transfer to Hunter, I kept thinking, okay, you're going to get a BA, but he kept telling me, no, I'm going to do the BA and the MA at the same time. And he did that incredible feat of finishing both in 2 years. So, and then when he was going back at the end of it, he said, "I'm going to go back to Mali." And I said, "Well, are you sure you want to do that?" Because I imagined that he would go back to Mali and kind of get entrenched in that system, because his father had been a fonctionnaire. And, you know, it's very easy to get back into government and get established and not get out. But I kept in touch by email. I did lose touch with him for about a year, but I was completely surprised when he came back and came by my office on spring break.
I chose two schools. I chose Harvard and Oxford in UK, and I was accepted in both programs. Honestly, it's like I was pretty confident when I was applying, because I think that I had the skill necessary to get into those schools. I mean, you know, as we say here, you know, start at BMCC and go anywhere. So I was pretty much confident that I had all the necessary training. You know, it was just a matter of me showing to the admission committee that, you know, I mean, I could get into this program, I could achieve and be who I would like to be. After graduation, I really think I want to go back pretty much in development work, helping people throughout the world, like, you know, in developing projects. It might be research, what I was doing before with IPA, or it can be some other NGO. But I really feel like, you know, my marginal productivity is higher in developing country than here, because, you know, I can change people's life, and that's something I really want to do.